second half of today's game is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Brewers of Michelob. Some things speak for themselves. By International Harvester, in the field and on the road. By Aces on track and moving ahead. By Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store. By the 1984 Toyota Tercel four-wheel drive wagon. See it at your local Toyota dealer. By National Lumber, where they think the store with the good stuff at the right price is the store you'll feel more at home with. That's National Lumber.
So that score at halftime as the long rivalry continues. And on this day, it's in the Coliseum in Los Angeles. We suggest you can be a part of history when UCLA will host 6 MCAA spectaculars next spring. Ticket information for this once-in-a-lifetime experience now available at the UCLA Central Ticket Office. You can call UCLA 101 and become a part of this celebration of college sports. Wonder what Terry Donahue said to the troops at half. He probably said, you know, we've been in this situation before because most of the season has been this way. The Bruins have trailed at one point in the ball game and have always had a good second half in most cases to come up with a victory. We'll see what happens today, but SC playing very, very emotional football, and that could be the difference. Nelson and Durrell back to receive. 10-6 Southern California. Steve Jordan's kick will not be returned. And although the scoreboard says 10-6 Southern Cal, the statistics say Southern Cal is really doing a job on the Bruins, especially in the line of scrimmage. Look at the total yards, 262 to 120. But look at the bottom line, time of possession. The Trojans have had the ball twice as long as UCLA. So Neuheisel, who was intercepted one time in the first half, will start with Nelson and Wiley as his running backs. Durrell and Young as his wide receivers. From the Bruin 20. Durrell, first down, 32-yard line. Well thrown, good protection, just a plain textbook pass. There it is again. Passing on first down, good protection, and as Ray said, a good pass. Now, Dwayne Jackson comes up and really puts a crunching tackle on Durrell, but a first down for the Bruins at the 33 of UCLA on the first play from scrimmage of the second half. Again to the air. Nelson from the 33 to the 37 for 4 yards before Tommy Haynes, the cornerback, and Dwayne Paquette, the inside linebacker, makes a tackle, but a gain of almost 5. You know, I just realized something. We have not yet mentioned, at least I haven't, the name of Jack Del Rio, the outside linebacker for SC. He just put Neuheisel on his wallet after the pass, but boy, they've really done a good job of neutralizing Jack, it seems. 2nd and 6. Here goes Nelson to the outside. Great block from Wiley. All the way to the 47-yard line of Southern California, and Brian Wiley threw a great block. He certainly did, and that time Del Rio was down to help on the tackle. Here it is again. Looks like the old student body right that USC used to run. Good blocking up front. The Red Shirts go down one-on-one. Wiley with a great block, and Del Rio shows up at the last moment to help on the tackle right there. So Jack is here, folks. He's one of the outstanding linebackers in American football. 1st and 10 at the Southern Cal 47. Peter. And again, superior blocking and great yardage on first down before Jeff Brown, Southern California inside linebacker. The coaches might have told the Bruins at the half that you're really getting your butt beat, fellas, and this is the big game of the year. Let's go out and be emotional on this first drive and put up on the scoreboard and kind of set the tone for the second half. And at least so far, that appears what the Bruins are doing. Scott Jordan was leading the blocking on that play. Danny Andrews now the tailback. But there goes the fullback, and it looks like Wiley is close to a first down at the 37-yard line of Southern California. Or was it Tennell? Derek Tennell, Derek 23. We may have a measurement here as the second half is just underway. Some individual stats while we have a moment. Kevin Nelson, who's been just on a rushing tear the last month, had 29 yards and only 8 carries in the first half. Conversely, USC's Michael Harper carried the ball 18 times for 95 yards. The Trojans just out rushing and out passing the Bruins in the first half. And it is the first down. UCLA has taken the second half kickoff. Cannell now will give way to Wiley at fullback. First and 10, Southern California, 37-yard line. Southern Cal kicked into the end zone, so the drive started at the Trojans at the UCLA 20. Seemed like every one of the officials spotted that infraction. Well, Tony Colorado, the nose guard for USC, jumped into that neutral zone, and on the movement, the center snapped the ball. That may cost the Trojans 5 yards. It will. So it will be 1st and 5 at the Southern Cal 32, and Danny Andrews gives way to Kevin Nelson. That's a heads-up play by the center. He is coached that on movement by the defense into that neutral zone, you snap the ball whether it's time or not. 1st and 5. Here comes Nelson, and here's Durrell. He got a block. He's close to a first down at the 27-yard line. And who do you think was leading the blocking? Yeah, it looked like Duval Love, number 67, was one of the fellas there. And the other, I think it was number 10. Let's take a look. Rick Neuheisel on the reverse, throwing a block. What in the world's going on here? Don't get hurt, Rick. We need you. And here's Durrell. Look at Duval Love just pushing the Trojans out of the way. Number 91, Matt Court comes up to make the stop, and it's going to be close to the first down. And it is just now signaled to a first down at the 27-yard line of Southern California. You often say, and have said to me this year, the first drive of the second half really sets the tone. Absolutely. I've seen it. I believe I'm saying it just over and over again. Now, UCLA takes out the tight end Harper, or rather takes out Michael Young and brings in Harper Howell as another tight end. Bergman in motion. And here is Nelson. He's down around the 21-yard line, getting about 6 yards on first down. There's no doubt about it, for whatever reason, the UCLA running attack has really been pumped up here in the second half. Take a look. Here comes the pulling guard. That's number 63, Mike Hartmeyer, leading the way. Brian Wiley gets the block, but Dwayne Bickett, the inside right linebacker, comes up and makes the stop. And he had 20 tackles last week against Washington, so Bickett has been a very influential defender for the Trojans. 2nd and 4.5. Durrell in motion. Look at that hole for Cephas. And a first down at the 14-yard line. Number 56, Mark Mannon, and number 63, Mike Hartmeyer, really blew the Trojans out of there that time. Keep an eye on it. You'll see the hole open. It was very obvious. And Cephas, with good quickness and a block from his fullback, gets through it. Now this will bring Nelson and Wiley back into the game. 1st and 10 at the Southern California 14-yard line. UCLA has had the ball for almost 4 minutes here at the start of the second half and trailing 10-6. Tremendous blocking, and Nelson is down to about the 8-yard line. Duval Love, number 67, leading the way. Good picture of number 10, Rick Neuheisel. The handoff to Nelson, nothing inside. Takes outside, makes the cut back in. And look at them just push the red shirts back. That's pretty impressive blocking by the Bruins. Gain on the play of 6.5. 2nd down, 3.5 for a first down. Only about a yard this time for Wiley. And again, we're going to have a very critical 3rd down. UCLA has not been able to come up with that 3rd and short play when they get close to the goal line so far today. Well, 3rd down conversions at the half. UCLA only 2 of 5. USC 6 of 8. So the Trojans have really been on their game today. Southern California has a player injured, and it's Matt Court. That's the 2nd time in the game he has had to be helped off the field. Hope he's okay. He's a fine football player. 6'6", 240 pounds. And just a sophomore. It'll be 3rd and 3 for UCLA at the 7-yard line of Southern Cal. 10:15 to play, third quarter. Southern California leading 10-6. And Dave Perling, number 95, will replace Matt Court in the defensive line. Mike Young is wide to the right. Durrell is wide to the left. Durrell in motion. Neuheisel. Touchdown. Durrell was able to work his way clear in the corner of the end zone, and Neuheisel did a good job under pressure getting the ball to him. He did, and the pressure was supplied by number 52, Jack Del Rio, who once again puts Rick down on his wallet, but not before he gets the pass away, and Durrell keeps a foot in bounds for the score. His 4th touchdown reception of the year. Here comes Del Rio. And Neuheisel, to put it simply, just gets the job done. Neuheisel's 9th touchdown pass of the season. John Lee is on target. And the score changes. UCLA 13, Southern California 10. We'll be back after this. When it comes to fighters at the lowest prices in the world, everybody comes to National Lumber. The answer to a do-it-yourself dream.
National Lumber isn't all that great, folks. You have a lot of low prices.
Spice crabgrass and weeds while feeding the lawn. Scott's Turf Builder Plus calls 1088 at National Lumber.
Look in your white pages for the National Lumber nearest you.
Hey, the other commercials are stepping up.
Get the good stuff at the right price. National Lumber.
The truck world has just been turned upside down. Introducing the 1984 Toyotas, the next generation of Toyota trucks. The best-looking Toyotas ever. With the new extra cabs, the roomiest Toyota ever. And with this SR5, the most powerful Toyota ever, thanks to the first-of-its-kind electronic fuel injection. The truck world will never be the same. Joe, I have one of those strange feelings that things are just heating up. Yeah, I think you're right. An SC-UCLA ball game, one punt so far in the game. I know. It really doesn't get serious until the fourth quarter. With 2 or 3 minutes to go, then people start saying, wow, what do we have here? Now, Michael Harper, who had left the game, either limping or just plain tired in the first half, is okay. There he is, number 36. He's in the middle at the goal line. Yeah, this is one game where you don't get tired and you don't get hurt, whether you are or not. After the game, a lot of these guys are going to be partying with each other. Oh, sure. I mean, these are for bragging rights, fella. Not one kickoff has been returned today. Make it another one. That's clear over the end line. Well, let's see what Ted Palmer and staff has cooked up now in the second half. They've done an awful lot of running. So very well in the first half. Well, the Bruins go 80 yards, 11 plays. A very impressive-looking drive. Took up 5 minutes. 7-yard pass to Carl Durrell, who caught his 4th of the year. Michael Harper is the tailback, who gained 95 yards running in the first half. Pola is the fullback. There goes Harper to the outside, but not any place to go this time. Nose guard Chris Block got to him in the backfield. Boy, that kind of quickness for a nose guard. Now keep in mind that Block, number 78, is going head-to-head with USC center Tony Slayton, a 3-year starter, an All-American. And that time Block won that individual battle. Gain of a yard. 2nd and 9 at the Southern Cal 21. Wide receivers set out either side. There goes Boyer in motion. And here comes Harper to the outside. Great play. Neil Delacono was able to string that out so that Sanchez could make the hit. But Delacono did the job. Ray, you hit that right on the nose. Delacono, who's getting up very slowly now, and may have to leave the field. Watch number 39. He takes on not one, but two USC blockers and just will not go down. He keeps stringing it out, finally gets help from Lupe Sanchez on the stop. But Neil Delacono made that play, an outstanding outside linebacker, a fellow who used to be a tailback in high school. And freshman Wes Jordan now goes in at the linebacker spot as Southern Cal is faced with a 3rd and 7. Delacono is out. He's been slightly injured. 3rd and 7, Southern Cal 23. Oh, they're going to run. This is Harper. Boy, you can hear it up here. Oh, boy. Donatelli and Rogers. Doug Donatelli, the senior from Manhattan Beach, and Don Rogers out of Sacramento, and they just made a great defensive play. I don't know if you can hear it on the replay, but just get an idea of what the contact is like right there. Oh, I could hear that way up here. Donatelli put his helmet in the number 36, got help from Rogers, and he makes a stop, and here's SC's first punt of the day. Yep, first punt of the day. Troy Richardson averages about 42 yards a punt. Sanchez to accept the punt. UCLA 40, 45, 40 of Southern Cal, 35, 30, out of bounds at the 21-yard line. And Richardson, who punted the football, might have saved a touchdown. Well, he had a 41 average coming in. That one was only 34 yards with only a 3-second hang time. It was a line drive that didn't help his teammates out a bit. So that poor punt by Richardson, the good return of 38 yards by Sanchez, and the Bruins are back in business at the 21-yard line of Southern California. Uheisel to his fullback, taking the pitch. Wiley driving all the way down to the 14-yard line for 8 yards. Derek Cannell will now check in. Wiley comes out and Howell comes out. It is 2nd and 2 at the Southern California 14-yard line. Terrell in motion. There goes Cannell, and he might have a first down around the 12-yard line. Del Rio was on the tackle. Del Rio, Keith Browner, Tony Colorado. Here's a look at that run back by Sanchez on a punt of 34 yards with only 3 seconds of hang time. And boy, he does a good job to get to the outside. One of the few punt returns this year of any distance for UCLA. It will be 3rd and about a foot after that measurement, just short of the Southern California 12-yard line. Midway 3rd quarter, UCLA leading 13-10. And here goes Derek Nelson. And touchdown. Kevin Nelson. His 6th touchdown running. Ray seated right next to us at another booth of the UCLA coaches who coach from the press box. And Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator, was being congratulated by the other assistants. He called that play, and when Kevin went over, Homer really sighed a big sigh of relief. Here it is again. Look at the run by Nelson. Just pure speed, some good cutting. And the Bruins have scored back in the second half after trailing 10-6. In 7 minutes and 31 seconds, they put 14 more points on the board. It's 20-10, UCLA. Back after this.
got to be bigger than Xerox by making precision-engineered copiers like this Rico 4060. I'm beginning to see the light. Now, are you still overlooking Rico and the Rico 4060? Check the yellow pages or call 714-863-0550.
You know, I happened to tell my Allstate agent about how everything I have two of.
Hi, Dad.
Right. Like 2 cars, he asked? Maybe Allstate's 2-car discount can save you money on insurance. Allstate sure saves me. I can use the money.
No, dinner.
One wife. Bring in your policy. For most folks, Allstate's multi-car discount is now even better. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Our Dial 1 plumber was called because this family liked the way our Dial 1 mover moved them. And the way a Dial 1 expert got rid of some creepy pests. And how Dial 1 specialists made their home secure. Residential and commercial property owners rely on Dial 1, a network of over 30 independent trades, services, and retail outlets. So for whatever your property service needs, call the information operator and ask for Dial 1, America's proud workforce. Ken Potter tees it up, and Michael Harper, who had such a tremendous first half, running from scrimmage for 95 yards for the Trojans, is at the goal line to our left, with 7:29 left to play in the third quarter. And the shadows start to creep across the playing field here at the Coliseum before a crowd of in the high 80s. But Ray, you know as well as I do, in big rivalries like this one, it's never over till remember what Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over. Kevin Nelson, now the 4th leading rusher on the UCLA career rushing list, 2,505 yards, and he really exploded for that touchdown. You can tell when a back wants it, and he wanted it. Here's Potter's kick. No return. Now, will the Trojans offensively be patient and not try to get it back all at one time? We shall see. I think perhaps there was a bit of a surprise for many of the people here, Joe, when Southern California had it the last time that they ran on 3rd down, but there's the touchdown run. Awful sweet. Awful sweet. If you're a Bruin fan, you got to like the way they came out in the second half. Michael Harper, here's the tailback. The fake was to Harper. I don't know whether that pass was intended for Malcolm Moore or whether it was intended for Timmy Ware, who was farther downfield. Pretty hard to miss Malcolm Moore. He's 6'5". Good time. Looked like a good pass. Just threw it a little bit high. Donnie Rogers lurking in the area. But their teammate cut right behind him then an instant later. Might have been intended for the deep man. At any rate, 2nd and 10 at the Southern Cal 20. 3 wide receivers. Pass complete, 8 yards to Cormier, the tight end. Well, after a short punt with very little hang time, the Bruins go 21 yards after a 38-yard punt return by Sanchez. Nelson getting the pay dirt on a 12-yard run. That shows you how the kicking game can affect the outcome of a ball game. For Southern California, a key 3rd and 1 at the Trojan 29. No wide receivers. First down, and Harper has it. He's up very close now to 100 yards. I think he has around 99 yards rushing for the game. Ray, Dennis Mnuchin, our statistician, handed me a note. He said last year in this game, the Bruins had a 20-10 lead midway in the 3rd quarter and won it by a point, 2019. So that's what we mean. This game is really never over. It's almost like an NBA basketball game. The final 2 minutes is the whole shoot match. 1st and 10 at the Southern Cal 33. We have 6:29 to play in the 3rd quarter, and UCLA is leading 20-10. And he'll fumble by Harper. UCLA has it. And Jeff Chapin comes up with the football. Michael Harper very slow in reacting to the fumble. Watch it here. Watch how long it takes him to turn around and get back to the ball. And here come the Bruins. Delacono in there first, and Chapin just took it away. So on the second consecutive turnover by Southern California, it is 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. The Southern Cal. Oh, a super play by cornerback Tommy Haynes of West Covina. He was on the blitz and ran right into Kevin Nelson. Did I say second consecutive turnover? I didn't mean that. What I meant was that the turnover by way of a punt that was turned into good field position, and now a fumble. There was a loss of 2. It is 2nd and 12 at the Southern Cal 28-yard line. Neuheisel. Every man was covered. Very wide. Very smart for the 5-year senior. So the loss is back to the 31-yard line, and UCLA has a 3rd and 15. Haynes, the cornerback, was coming on a blitz. Durrell to the right. Mike Young to the left. Bergman. Beautiful pass. 1st and goal to go at the 6. A 25-yard pickup from Neuheisel to Paul Bergman. That's money in the bank, that combination. I can't get over the pass of Neuheisel. He threaded the needle. This might be the best pass he's thrown all year long. He throws it between 2 Trojans right to Bergman. What a pass. So it is now 1st and goal at the Southern California 7-yard line. 5:26 to play, 3rd quarter. UCLA is leading by 20 to 10. And there is no game as Jerome Tyler makes an excellent play, and Nelson is held without a yard. Boy, Tyler really did make a nice play. He's a free safety. He came up to Phil as soon as he read that the play was a run. 6'1" sophomore, 180 pounds, and he really nailed Kevin that time. So UCLA, instead of going with their short yardage offense, will now come with their wide receivers, new set of running backs, Cephas and Tennell. Durrell is wide to the right along with Mike Young. 2nd and goal. Southern Cal 7. Cephas in motion. And a good play. That was Tommy Haynes, the cornerback, dropping Neuheisel all the way back at the 18-yard line. That's the 3rd time in this series of downs that Haynes has been on the blitz. 6'2", 190-pound junior. This time he lines up on the left side of the defensive formation and gets Neuheisel down. For a moment there, it looked like Rick fumbled, but he was simply placing the ball down. Now Andrews and Wiley will replace Tennell and Cephas. 3rd down and goal. Wiley. Touchdown. What a call. What a call. What a call and what execution by the offensive line of UCLA. Wiley broke 4 tackles on his way to the goal line. And for Wiley, that is his first touchdown of the year. Leaves a lot of Trojans in his wake, and look at the celebration. Here's a fellow who about a month ago broke his wrist and missed a couple of games and now scores his first of the year. John Lee will attempt to keep his perfect conversion record going. So the scoreboard at the Coliseum says UCLA 27, Southern California 10, 3:51 to play, 3rd quarter. Back after this.
Radio Shack believes a computer for your family is an important investment. That's why you owe it to them to see the sale price color computer too. Widely used in schools and homes, it's expandable with quality peripherals and supported by a vast library of software for education, home management, communication, and games. The Color Computer 2 at $80 off is backed by our national service and training. Only at Radio Shack, your electronic store for over 60 years.
We'd like to show you how a National Lumber commercial is made. First, we do lots of starts and research. Oh, my. Then the National Special goes in. 6-inch long nose, 7-inch locking pliers, and 2 adapters. The all-trade grip made home shop set. When it's done, the boss sees it.
The Trojans have not been able to do too many things right here in the third quarter. But as Joe Bupita has cautioned us over and over again, he's seen too many of these games. Ray, it's not over, believe me. Brian Wiley, a smiling Brian Wiley. He turned around a moment ago and an ear-to-ear grin for the young man from Harbor City. Almost 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. There's Potter's kick. No return. What we say earlier in the season, earlier tonight, show, or this afternoon, he's only had 9 returns this season. 9 of 49 coming into the game. And on his career, it's even better than that. I'll look it up and get it to you in a moment. There's the scoring play after a recovered fumble. Of the 125 Potter kickoffs in 2 years coming into the ballgame, only 31 had been returned. That's in 2 years. Let's see what Southern Cal's strategy is now, trailing 27-10. Harper. Same strategy they've used all day. Yep. It's about 6 yards. Hard running. Boy, Harper's still running hard. He's over 100 yards now for the game. Pickup of 6, second down 4. 24 carries, 104 yards. Here comes a blitz. That was a red dog and a blitz. Yeah, the linebacker, Ron Pitts, came from the corner spot. Doug West came from a linebacker spot. Salisbury never had a chance. Third sack of Salisbury today. Doug West on a red dog, Pitts on a blitz, and they put him on his back. So now Southern California is faced with a 3rd and 14. They're back at their own 16-yard line. And the Bruins just trying to maintain the momentum. They certainly have it now after being dominated in the first half by the Trojans. It's been all UCLA since the second half began. Could this be a delay of game? By golly. It is. It's going to be 3rd and 19. Delay of game. 2:33 to play, third quarter. And the Bruins fans are ecstatic here at the Coliseum. Pickup of about 9 yards, and it's going to be 4th down. That's the fullback, Kennedy Tola, still running very hard, but his team with very poor field position, and the pressure now again on Troy Richardson, who had a very short punt last time and really helped set up the following UCLA touchdown. So kicking out of shadow to Sanchez in the sunlight. Not very good height on it, but there will be no run back. It's out of bounds at the Bruin 42-yard line with 1:40 to play in the third quarter. Less than 3 seconds hang time that time for Richardson. In January of 1983, it was a victory in the Rose Bowl for the UCLA Bruins. December of 1983, where did the Bruins go for winning the Aloha Bowl or the Rose Bowl to be played in Honolulu, Hawaii? The Bruins will take on the more later. 42-yard line of UCLA. Nelson gets 2 yards. Second down and 8. We're down to the final 2 minutes of the third quarter as Nelson leads the game, limping heavily. He'll be replaced by Danny Andrews. Brian Wiley is the fullback. Howell went in motion. Beautiful pass to the 40-yard line of Southern California. Carl Durrell's having a big game. Here it is here. Play action fake. Durrell right over the middle. Dwayne Pickett, number 80, nearly gets his hand on the football, but Neuheisel avoids him. And finally the tackle made by Jerome Tyler after a 16-yard pickup. At the 40-yard line of Southern California. Less than a minute remaining in the third period. 27-10 UCLA. Pinnell breaks it to the 35 for 5 yards. And right now, whereas in the first half, Joe, I had the feeling that the Southern California offensive line just controlled the line of scrimmage. Now it's the other way around. It's the UCLA offensive line that's controlling things. Well, I think they know the importance of this ball game. That's so obvious. And after getting beat up pretty well in the first half, the Bruins, who have fought back time and time again in every game, led by this man right here. He's the eternal optimist, Rick Neuheisel. So to have the Bruins trailing at the half and being outmanned part of the time, no real big surprise. And they're putting on a typical second half performance. So we've come to the end of the third quarter from the Coliseum in Los Angeles to score. UCLA 27, Southern California 10. We'll be back after this.
Toyota is turning the truck world upside down with a new generation Toyota 4x4. An all-new truck designed to give you more room and more comfort. Yet tough enough and rugged enough to take on anything it can put its 4 wheels on. A 1984 Toyota 4x4. Now an even tougher act to follow.
Killing machine, possessed by the devil.
There was no driver in the car.
A car with no driver, and everyone was its target.
That car flew into that house 4 feet off the ground.
From the hot winds of hell came The Car. Monday at 8 with only 2 intermissions on Channel 5. Your station for movies. Tuesday at 8.
You work your side of the street, and I'll work mine.
When it comes to hard-hitting cops, no one's tougher than Steve McQueen. When it comes to action, nothing moves faster than bullets. His turf is the city, and with a bag, a gun, and a hot set of wheels, he's a cop living on the edge of the law. Steve McQueen is Bullet, Tuesday at 8 on Channel 5. Coming to Channel 5, it's a world television premiere. Manhattan, 1997. The entire city is a walled maximum security prison.
You know what, guy?
An island run by a gang of hoodlums on the brink of hell. And one man must go in where no man has ever gotten out.
I'm going in.
Kurt Russell leads an all-star cast in the greatest escape of them all. Escape from New York. A world television premiere. Wednesday night at 8, only on Channel 5.
First and 10, UCLA. I beg your pardon, second and 5, UCLA at the Southern California 35-yard line. Danny Andrews. And he has a first down, or close to it. No, he fumbled. He almost had enough yardage for a first down, but now it's UCLA with a turnover, and Southern California gets the football at the 32-yard line of Southern Cal, and Dave Perling makes the recovery. Here it is. Danny got to the first down area, but fumbled the football right about in here. There it is, a helmet right on the ball. Caused the fumble. That's number 9, Tommy Haynes, who caused the fumble. Hurling comes up with it, but that would have been UCLA's 10th first down in the second half to USC's 1. Now Southern Cal at the Trojan 32. Salisbury on first down. Good pass. Rogers makes a big hit on Malcolm Moore, but it's a Southern Cal first down at the Trojan 43. After the hit, Malcolm got up and almost congratulated Rogers on that nice hit. I don't know if you can see it here. After the catch, watch the hit by Rogers. And then 22 gets up and points at him as if to say, hey, nice job. 3 wide receivers, just the one setback. Harper's out of the game. Quick pass, tight end Cormier. First down. So Southern Cal puts together back-to-back first downs, trailing by 17 with the fourth quarter just underway. I'm telling you, the whole ball game is right here. It really is. The Bruins may lead by 17, but that's nothing. Out to the right, Timmy Ware. To the left, Malcolm Moore. Quick toss, fumble, and it bounced right back to him. Yep, Cormier got it back at the 41-yard line of UCLA after a pickup of about 6. So Salisbury on the day, 14 of 18, Ray, for about 165 yards. He said, what, 2 interceptions? 2 interceptions. And Cormier having a big day. 7 catches, 80 yards for that sophomore. 2nd and 4 at the Bruin 41. The Trojans are hurrying a bit out of the huddle now, of course, because we're in the fourth quarter with 13:45 remaining in the game. Here's Michael Harper. First down, 32-yard line of the Bruins. Lee Knowles makes the tackle. Look at blocking up front of Harper. And boy, when he turns the corner, he really turns on the speed, and Lee Knowles able to catch him from the side. First and 10, Southern California, 32-yard line of UCLA. Quick opener. Pola gets it down to the 25-yard line. Southern California, much of the time in the first quarter, went with the one-back offense. Now they're back to that. 2nd down and 3. 25-yard line of UCLA. Rushing yardage still favors Southern California. The fourth quarter has been SC's weakest as far as scoring on the year. They've only had 28 points in the fourth quarter. This is Harper. I do not believe he picked up the first down. Just a very, very good play by Neil Delacono. Third and less than 1, 22-yard line of UCLA. Receivers, Cormier in motion. Harper to the outside. He got his first down. He just got the first down shy of the 20-yard line. First and 10, Southern Cal, UCLA 20. 12 minutes, 27 seconds left to play. And the officials have called a timeout at this point. No, they haven't. UCLA called for the timeout, and Don Rogers is coming over to the sideline. So the score, UCLA 27, Southern California 10. We'll be back after this.
for only $10 a day more than our regular low rate. Guaranteed. And if we don't deliver, you'll get $50 off your next rental. And we give you national attention, and that's the truth.
When it comes to the finest of the lowest prices of all, everybody comes to National Lumber. The answer to a do-it-yourself dream.
National Lumber isn't all that great, folks. You have a lot of low prices.
AA or AAA twin, Panasonic alkaline battery, 74 cents a pack at National Lumber.
Look in your white pages for the National Lumber nearest you.
Hey, you got a commercial for stepping up.
It's the good stuff at the right price. National Lumber.
In January of 1983, it was the win in the Rose Bowl, as we know, for the UCLA Bruins. Now, December of 83, whether the Bruins go for a win in the Rose Bowl or perhaps the Aloha Bowl, you can be there. First Tours is now offering limited packages to the game for you and your family to spend the holidays watching the Bruins. Round-trip airline, hotel, and a game ticket yours by calling area code 213-988-0580 or area code 800-423-3118. We'll have more information for you later as Spencer runs to the 15-yard line. Continuing with that information about the tour, it's a limited package. They're available complete from $539 per person, and that's round trip. Less than a round trip regular coach seat to our 50th state. You and your family can be in Hawaii aboard your luxury DC-10 for the holiday season. Call 213-988-0850 or area code 800-423-3118. Limited space is available for your trip to the 1983 bowl game. Second and 5, 15-yard line of UCLA. Southern Cal trying to get back into contention here. And a short game, short of the first down to about the 11-yard line for Todd Spencer. Ray, the crowd has been announced, 83,763. Pretty good showing on a beautiful day in Southern California. It is crosstown rivalry. It is 3rd and 1 for Southern Cal at the 11-yard line of UCLA with 11:20 left in the game. UCLA 27, Southern California, which has not scored in the second half, with 10. A yard for a first down. Spencer gets the first and goal at the 8-yard line. That stops the clock. And the Trojans cheering section across the way, imploring their Trojans to get on the board yet another time. Joe Cormier, the tight end, leading him around the way, and Joe gets blocked out of the play, but still kind of muddles it up and allows the extra yard for the first down. Of course, for UCLA, every play here that Southern California runs on the ground, of course, runs the clock down ever closer to the end of this annual rivalry. This is Spencer trying to get outside, and then he winds up with short yardage. Gained only about a yard, but stopped the clock. To give you an idea of the excellence of these offenses, UCLA has averaged over 5 yards per play, as has Southern Cal. Second and goal. The last play gained only about half a yard. Kamenar, the fullback, 26. Spencer, the tailback, 23. Second and goal. Boyer in motion. Spencer. Touchdown. So that makes it 27-16. Boy, what an impressive run by Spencer, who weighs in at 195 pounds. 5'11" senior playing his final regular season game for the Trojans. Watch at the goal line. I think it's number 28, Joe Gasser, who tries to make the stop. Watch the hit right there. Oh, my goodness. No doubt. Like I said, good back. Know where the end zone is, and when they want it, they go get it, and that's what Spencer did. Tim Green holds for Steve Jordan. Point number 17 on the board. So here at the Coliseum, it's now UCLA 27, Southern California 17. We'll be back after this.
A Christmas gift from Radio Shack. I kept hinting.
Personal productivity.
He was so thorough.
The portable TRS-80 Model 100, $7.99, only at Radio Shack.
Toyota is turning the truck world upside down. With a new generation Toyota SR5 Extra Cab. It's all new from the outside in, with extra space for extra comfort. 4-speed automatic overdrive for easy driving. The most powerful, most comfortable Toyota truck ever. The 1984 Toyota Extra Cab. The neighborhood will never be the same.
Look at their faces. They've heard an ugly rumor that there won't be a Twilight Zone marathon this Thanksgiving.
You begin to imagine the horror.
But don't smash your television and don't leave town. Channel 5's programming executive won't let you down.
Isn't it a real good thing that he done that, honey? Isn't it a real good thing?
The 4th annual Twilight Zone Marathon.
It is not for the faint-hearted.
A Los Angeles tradition. Thanksgiving Day starting at 9 only on Channel 5.
I'm Bob Eubank.
And I'm Lee Merriweather. Join us for Channel 5's exclusive live coverage of the 1983 Hollywood Christmas Parade.
You know, it's Hollywood's biggest spectacular. Over 100 of your favorite stars, bands, and floats make it the best way to start your holiday season.
The AT's George Peppard will be Grand Marshal, and of course it wouldn't be Christmas without Santa Claus.
So don't miss any of the dazzling color of the 1983 Hollywood Christmas Parade.
Live Sunday, November 27th at 6 p.m. only on Channel 5.
We have just now learned that the game that UCLA fans are particularly interested in finds Washington State defeating Washington 17-6. Boy, you talk about an upset. That's 2 years in a row that has happened, although this year it was at Seattle, which was very unlikely. Now, that means if the Bruins win today, they go to the Rose Bowl. That's right. So once again, they're back as they were last week in control of their own fortune. Yep. And believe me, they know it by now. There's Jordan's kick. No return. So now, it's very interesting to see where the so-called pressure or which unit now must be particularly conscious of doing its job as we look at Coach Ted Polner. And a quote from the head man of the Trojans. Well, he's absolutely right there. When they began running the football so effectively, that opened up the air lanes for Rick Neuheisel, who has become the most efficient passer in the Pac-10 this year. First and 10 UCLA at the Bruins 20 with 10:35 left in the game. Bergman in motion. Here goes the fullback. That's been a very good play today. The fake pitch and the give to the fullback, and it's been good for just great yardage. Tony Colorado made the tackle on Brian Wiley. What that fake pitch does, it makes the defense commit one way or another. You know, things happen so quickly down in the pitch, so that good fake by the quarterback gets the defense to commit. You come back the other way and you pick up 5 or 6 yards as he did right there. 2nd and 5 at the UCLA 25. Long count by Neuheisel. Cephas. He manages to scrape a couple of yards out of what looked like a no-gain play. It will be 3rd and 2.5. Every third down, of course, gains increasing importance in a game like this, a 10-point game, and in the 4th quarter. Now, while UCLA knows it could go to the Rose Bowl, USC knows it could be the spoiler. Here's Nelson. Did he get the first down? He needed to reach the 30. Oh, is it close? All depends on where they mark it. Lee Joseph, the head linesman, is standing on the 30-yard line, but he doesn't place the ball. Now the referee says first down. The nose of the ball reached the 30. Didn't even measure. That might have been the biggest third down run of the game. Well, I'll say, talk about student body left. Watch all the white shirts and watch the red guys show up. Look at SC close on defense. My goodness, what defense. I think as Neil Hope, the brand new linebacker, number 54, who came in the game, it was responsible for almost keeping Nelson away from first down yardage. But it is the first down. Nelson, no more than about a yard. I tell you, that 10-point lead by UCLA is not safe, and if the Bruins played not to lose instead of playing to win, they're going to be in deep trouble. The clock is running with 8.5 minutes remaining. This being the final telecast of the UCLA regular season for all of us with Metro Sports. There's something very special I want to say after the next play. It is 2nd and 10. Pass complete. First down, 41-yard line. That's the dependable Paul Bergman. Exactly. Money in the bank. Paul Bergman, when they need a big play, they go to him, the tight end, who in his high school days at Granada Hills used to catch a lot of passes from John Elway. Now he's doing it for Rick Neuheisel and the Bruins, and he's really come up with a big play reputation. Brian Wiley checks in. They'll take out Mike Young. 1st and 10, UCLA at the Bruins 41. 8 minutes and 10 seconds left. UCLA leading 27-17, knowing, as we do, that Washington has lost. And there goes Wiley for about 3. I said I wanted to issue a thank you to Anheuser-Busch, the official beer of our UCLA network throughout the football season. A special thanks to Dr. Pepper, the official UCLA network soft drink. To National Car Rental, the official car rental system for UCLA's football network. To those good sponsors who have been responsible for presenting these games to our audience, a very special thank you. 2nd and 7 UCLA at the Bruins 44-yard line. Here comes Nelson. He's very close to a first down at the Southern Cal 49-yard line before linebacker Keith Browner was able to make the tackle, but we're down now to 7:20 left in the game and counting. What a football family those Browners turned out to be. And this time it's Keith Browner and the outside linebacker coming up to make the stop on Kevin right about there. 57, Keith Browner. It is 3rd, about a foot away from a first down. UCLA got the football after Southern California scored to make it 27-17. And this drive started at the Bruins 20. Neuheisel keeps. I think he has the first down. Last week before the game at Arizona, Joe and I were using that phrase about controlling their own destiny, and then all of a sudden that control was out of their hands. But Washington State, which, quite frankly, Jim Walden's team has played extremely well the last portion of the season, and today they did it to Washington in Seattle, and that is very difficult to do. Boy, I'll say, and against the Don James coach team, he's perhaps one of the 10 best coaches in college football, and hey, Washington State just wanted it more, I guess. Well, Ted Tallner would tell anybody who would listen after last week's game. He said that Washington was far and away the best team that they had played this season. Pac-10 basketball we're going to talk about exclusively on the Metro Sports Network beginning next weekend. We want you to check your local listings for the exact times and the dates. Pac-10 basketball, coast to coast. Joe and I'll be there. Can't wait for the round ball, Joe. Next Friday. Oh, love it. Friday and Saturday is UCLA at home at Pauley. 1st and 10, 49-yard line of Southern Cal. 6.5 minutes left in the game. Here's Frank Cephas. Just a couple of yards, but notice now how UCLA is going to the wide plays. Just a few more seconds every running play by going outside rather than inside. Just pick up 2 or 3 yards of carry. That's Gypsy Boots, one of the legends, I guess you'd call it, in Los Angeles. I guess he's a Trojan fan, huh? I would guess.
The pickup on the last play was 3 yards. It is 2nd and 7 at the Southern Cal 46. Now we're down to less than 6 minutes to play. Southern Cal completely dominated the statistics in the first half and led by 10-6.
It's been a long time since they've won 2 in a row.
Was this delay of game? Yes. Delay of game penalty.
Ray, that's UCLA's first penalty today.
Amazing.
Isn't that something? In an emotion-packed ball game like this, where you're on edge anyway, but not an illegal procedure, not a motion penalty, and that's their first of the day.
And in fact, in the first half, there were just 3 penalties against Southern California. So it's been a remarkably error-free, penalty-free game. 2nd down and 12 at the UCLA 49. Intended for Mike Young. Dwayne Jackson came up to defend, but Neuheisel was a bit low with that pass, and it will be 3rd and 12. Honolulu over Christmas time. Aloha Bowl, huh?
Still some questions to be answered there, too.
Oh, yes. Durrell is off to the right. Pass complete. Durrell, a yard shy of a first down. It was a 3rd and 12, and UCLA picked up 11. Now, what do? You go for it? I would say they're in 4-down territory. Oh, you got to go for it. You can't play not to lose. You got to go for it. You got to be aggressive in this situation. 4.5 minutes to go in the ball game. You're on top by 10. You got the other team reeling. Go for it. And they are. 4.5 minutes left, and the clock continues to run. Cephas, I don't know. It's very, very close. I don't think so. Well, the Southern California players don't think that he made it. The defense has left the field. What a great job by the Trojan D. And now it's up to the UCLA defense to shut him down. Now, each team has its 3 timeouts remaining as Rick Neuheisel talked with his coach, Terry Donahue. UCLA held the ball for 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Here's a blitz. Ronnie Pitt came untouched, and Salisbury never saw it. I don't think anybody saw it. When the ball was snapped, nobody on the left side. Look, they all turn the other way, and here comes Pitt. That's a big play. A loss from the 40 back to the 32, and 30 valuable seconds go off the clock. 2nd down, 17. Pass complete to Spencer. He gets about 9 yards. It will be 3rd and 8. Here again, they start to put pressure on Salisbury. He dumps it out to Spencer, and Doug West, of all people, misses the tackle. He's normally very, very reliable, but then his teammates come up to fill and make the stop. And a Bruin is taken up, and it's Don Rogers. Boy, is that an upset. Don Rogers comes up groggy. Lyndon Crawford checks into the game. John Armstrong comes into the game. It is 3rd down and 8. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the game. Cormier in motion.
Short of the first down. Big hit by Sanchez on Cormier. It will be 4th and 3. Well, Lupe had to pick up the tight end coming out of off the line, and he really timed his hit well so as not to interfere with the play and almost caused a fumble. We're down now to 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to play. I'm really surprised that Southern Cal hasn't gone into its hurry-up offense. Fourth down and 3. Where is it marked? They're shy of the first down, I believe. Don Rogers was only out of the game for one play. He was back in and helped out on the defensive play. Well, like I said earlier, in this ball game, you can't afford to get tired. You can't afford to get hurt. Now watch where Cormier goes out of bounds. Here's where he catches it. His lead foot never comes down beyond that red marker. And Lupe Sanchez and Steve Jurecki push him out of bounds, and now they're going to have a discussion about it on the far sideline. The score is still 27-17 in favor of UCLA, and we'll be right back after this.
Everybody comes to National Lumber. It's over dream.
National Lumber isn't all that great, folks. You have a lot of low prices. AA or AAA twin, Panasonic alkaline battery, 74 cents a packet. National Lumber. Look in your white pages for the National Lumber nearest you.
Hey, the other commercials are checking out.
It's the good stuff at the right price. National Lumber.
Now, at CNR, every suit on sale. Thousands of new arrivals. Famous designer Pure Wool Suit. CNR sale price $179.99. Save $95. Handsome Pure Wool Suits, including pinstripe. Sale price only $149.99. Save $85. The greatest value in town. Wool blend vested suits now on sale $99.99. For a limited time, every suit on sale in all 36 CNR stores.
Back in January of 1983, it was a win in the Rose Bowl for the UCLA Bruins. December of 1983, what did the Bruins go for a win in the Rose Bowl? You can be there. First Tours now offering limited packages to the game for you and your family to spend the holidays watching the Bruins. Round-trip airline, hotel, and a game ticket can be yours by calling area code 213-988-0580 or area code 800-423-3118. Limited packages available complete. You and your family can be in sunny Los Angeles aboard your luxury DC-10 for the holiday season by calling area code 213-988-0850 or area code 800-423-3118. Limited space is available for your trip to a 1983 bowl game. Short of the first down was the receiver, and UCLA has the football and a 10-point lead. Just a couple of yards up the middle. We have just less than 2.5 minutes to play now. Well, the Trojans feel they've been jobbed in their own stadium. Salisbury, for one, was all over the referee after the measurement, and they're very, very upset with the officiating on that play, especially. Steve Gemza has checked in at left tackle, the Dayton, Ohio senior for UCLA. There's Salisbury. He's really upset. Then he fired his helmet a moment later. He thought they had the first down. This is Cephas. Steve Williams, another senior, is getting a chance to play, number 16 for UCLA from Yorba Linda. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on down there. Jeff Brown, one of the inside backers for SC, and I didn't catch the Bruin, but he really had a Donnybrook on the field a moment ago. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. And the Bruins know by now that they can go to the Rose Bowl with a victory because Washington State earlier today upset Washington in Seattle. It is 3rd and 2 at the Southern Cal 41-yard line. Cephas close to a first down at the 39-yard line of Southern California. Less than 1 minute to play, and UCLA. That's right. The Bruins, the Trojans will end up with a losing record. But I have to say this, looking at their roster, a tremendous number of young players, and Ted Tollner and his staff, I think, have an awful lot to look forward to. Especially on that offensive line. They are really talented up there, but very, very young. And you're right. They'll be back. The executive producer of UCLA football is Leonard Pompey. Today's game is introduced by Marcia Turner, directed by William Andrews. The coordinating producer is Paul Carlson. Associate producer, Mitch Engel. Production facilities have been supplied by Cruise Unlimited of Crestwood, Kentucky, and Broadcast Rentals in Los Angeles. This telecast has been produced in association with KTLA, Channel 5, Los Angeles, Golden West Television, Incorporated. Wish we'd get a shot of Kevin Nelson on the sideline. He's running around giving high fives. Everybody's saying, hey, we're going to the Rose Bowl. We're going to the Rose Bowl. A whole host of new players are going into a game here as UCLA prepares to pump the ball away. First time ever that the Bruins have gone to the Rose Bowl twice in a row. Amazing. Yep. And this is only their second punt of the day. UNFA punts out of bounds. We'd like to say thank you to some people from these two universities for their help. For the University of Southern California, Athletic Director Dr. Richard Perry. For head football coach Ted Tollner, Sports Information Director, longtime friend Jim Perry. And for UCLA, Athletic Director Peter Dallas and his staff. Head football coach Terry Donahue and the members of his staff. Sports Information Director Gary Rouse, Associate Sports Information Director Mark Dellin. To our longtime friends, our statistician, Dennis Mnuchin, and to our spotter, Chuck Panama, for his 38th consecutive UCLA Southern Cal game. How about that? Salisbury's pass completed to his tight end, Fred Cornwell, with 21 seconds left to play in the game. You know, I don't think really enough has been said, Joe, and I know I'm guilty of it, for the congratulations to Terry Donahue and his staff for what they've done with a team that started out 0-3-1. What a turnaround. And got pretty physically banged up as well. Lost a lot of people in those first four games. Trying to hit Cornwell was Salisbury, and it's incomplete with 17 seconds remaining. The first half belongs to Southern California, outgaining UCLA by better than 2-1, 262 yards to 120. But the second half has been almost exclusively UCLA. And Salisbury got away from Doug West, but he helped to spin him down along with David Randall. I've never seen Doug West get that excited. He's a very quiet, low-key, rather shy individual. And boy, that's the first explosiveness I've seen him all year as far as emotion goes. With 8 seconds left, Southern California takes a timeout, and Sean Salisbury goes over to the sideline. What we don't know right now, Joe, is whether indeed the information was sent to the dressing room at halftime to the players that Washington State was leading by a score of 14-3 over Washington, because something propelled this team in the second half, because it was just a total turnaround. That's right. The third quarter was all UCLA, and so far the second half has been all Bruins. I would have to think that somebody at halftime said, hey, listen now, here's what's happening up north. If we can turn this thing around and win, we'll stay home and play in the Rose Bowl. How about that? It is third down and 16 at the Southern California 27-yard line. 8 seconds left to play. A 21-point third quarter explosion by the Bruins turned this game around. Pass incomplete with 3 seconds left. By the way, SC very used to postseason activity, of course, but this is the earliest an SC football team has ended a season since 1911.
Oh, my.
And in 1911, they played rugby at SC, not football.
4th down and 16.
Look at that on the sideline. Jerry Long, Terry Donahue, Chancellor Young, and Donahue without his yellow sweater. He doesn't need it today.
The officials are coming over to get some of the exuberant followers back off the playing field. We must keep in mind that Terry Donahue, as a player, as an assistant, and as a head coach, has never lost in the Rose Bowl.
That's right.
No, wait a minute. How about BYU? That's
BYU
37-35.
Right.
And as we now know, BYU is a pretty fair country football team. A grinning Homer Smith is over to our right. He's having difficulty to keep him just plain laughing out loud. He's the offensive orchestrator for Terry Donahue.
Well, this win will give Donahue 3 wins against 5 losses in his UCLA tenure against SC. So little by little, that's getting more and more even.
3 seconds left. This is Cornwell, and the final play of the game. And the UCLA Bruins, by virtue of a tremendous second half, triggered by a 21-point third quarter, have won their way to the Rose Bowl for the second consecutive year. The end of the game and a final score. UCLA 27, Southern California 17. We'll be back with our final comments after this.
Possessed by the devil.
There was no driver in the car.
A car with no driver, and everyone was its target.
That car flew into that house 4 feet off the ground.
From the hot winds of hell came the car. Monday at 8 with only 2 intermissions on Channel 5, your station for movies. Tuesday at 8.
You work your side of the street, and I'll work mine.
When it comes to hard-hitting cops, no one's tougher than Steve McQueen. When it comes to action, nothing moves faster than bullets. His turf is the city, and with a bag, a gun, and a hot set of wheels, he's a cop living on the edge of the law. Steve McQueen is Bullet, Tuesday at 8 on Channel 5. Look at their faces. They've heard an ugly rumor, but there won't be a Twilight Zone marathon this Thanksgiving.
You begin to imagine the horror.
But don't smash your television, and don't leave town. Channel 5's programming executive won't let you down.
Isn't it a real good thing that he done that, honey? Isn't it a real good thing?
The 4th annual Twilight Zone Marathon.
It is not for the faint-hearted.
A Los Angeles tradition, Thanksgiving Day starting at 9 only on Channel 5.
So the UCLA band and student body continue to celebrate the victory of the Bruins. And Joe, is there any way you could wrap up this topsy-turvy season and the ebbs and flows of a UCLA football fortunes in just a moment or so? It's been an interesting season.
I think today's game was kind of a capsule of the whole season, right? A lot of swings of emotion both ways. Kids playing well, some playing their best game of the year. UCLA trailing at the half, coming back in the third quarter as they've done all season long. Rick Neuheisel having another big day. Paul Bergman, the big play guy. Don Rogers, look at the tackles he saved. He saved a couple of big plays today with some tackles out of nowhere. It's been their character all year to get behind and somewhere pull it up from the shoestrings and say, now's the time we got to go get them, folks. And they went and got the Trojans today.
So now it's on to the Rose Bowl on a date with a revived Illinois football team coached by Mike White. And meanwhile now, as a result of everything that happened today,
Washington's Huskies get an opportunity to defend their first Aloha Bowl championship. And for those of you who may not have followed that game last year, one of the real thrillers of postseason play, which saw Washington pull out the victory over Maryland in the closing seconds. Now, Washington and Penn State, and we'll be there to watch them.
That's going to be an offensive show as well, you know. And a lot of coaches feel that postseason games are really rewards for their football team. So we may say a lot of crazy type of football. Of course, they both want to win it. But going to Hawaii for Christmas time, it's going to be fun, first of all. And I'm anxious for the Aloha Bowl. I think it's going to be one whale of a ball game.
From what we understand, Penn State goes to the Aloha Bowl after having tied Pitt. From what we understand, it was a field goal by Penn State as time ran out that enabled them to tie their very bitter rival, the Pitt Panthers, in Pittsburgh. So a lot of strange things happened today.
And then Washington gets beat in Seattle when they're playing for the Rose Bowl. You know, I'm anxious to read what happened in that ball game, but Washington State has become one of the best football teams in the Pac-10, maybe the nation, the last month and a half.
So that I think that overall, not only what transpired today, but what happened throughout this season, a lot of people say that so-and-so upset somebody. I don't know about you, Joe, but I honestly believe that the closest thing to parity in major college football has been achieved over these last few years with the limitation on scholarships. I think that's really the basic reason.
No doubt about it. Coaches can't recruit a fella and redshirt him for a year, or in SC and UCLA's case, they'd redshirt a whole team. And just have that team get a year of experience as a scout team and then come up next year basically as sophomores, but with freshman eligibility. Can't happen anymore. Those kids that were recruited and sat down for a year are now playing somewhere, and that's really even out college football and college basketball.
So for all of us at Metro Sports, our congratulations to Terry Donahue and all the members of his staff and his players. And incidentally, we've had a lot of fun this season sending you the games. We'd like to believe that all of you enjoyed them. We can't say enough for all of the members of our crew. We can't identify them all by name, but they've just been superlative throughout this season, and we hope that there's been that same reaction in your living room as it's been with us up here in the booth. Any final words from you, Joe?
No, I'm just anxious to get on with the Aloha Bowl, and then, of course, the Pac-10 basketball season coming up on Metro Sports. That's going to be very exciting as well. Starts in a week.
Just a week from right now, as we're talking to you, we will already have televised one UCLA basketball game. We hope that you'll join us here on Metro Sports for that. So along with Joe Dupita, this is Ray Scott saying thank you so very much. So once again, our final score, the UCLA Bruins 27 and headed for the Rose Bowl, and the Southern California Trojans 17. This has been an exclusive Metro Sports videotape presentation.
UCLA football with
The big voice.
You're looking at history repeating itself. Believe it or not, the UCLA Bruins are not only saying tonight they're the best team in Los Angeles, they're also in the Rose Bowl.
News for LA, the early Saturday report with Frank Cruz and Sandy White. Bill Schumann with the sports and Fritz Coleman with weather. Now, News for LA weekend.
Good evening, everyone. The big story tonight, of course, is the big game, USC and UCLA. We're going to call in Phil Schumann right now to find out what happened out there at the Coliseum, because history repeated itself.
Certainly did, Frank, and we'll take a look at some of the action right now. USC was leading 10-6 at halftime, and the Trojans were feeling pretty good about themselves. But UCLA came out for blood in the third quarter and took control. The Bruins scored 3 times in the first 6 minutes of the quarter. The first on this 8-yard pass, new highs of Carl Durrell. Bruins lead 13-10. Then Kevin Nelson with 79 yards on the ground today, right side for 12 yards. The Bruins lead it 20-10. Then it's fullback Ryan Wiley getting in on the act. Wiley will bust up the middle for 17 yards, and the Bruins went up 27-10. The final 27-17. We'll have a complete report on the sports in just a few minutes, as well as post-game comments from UCLA. In a word, Rose Bowl, 2 words.
And, of course, we know they got in simply because the Huskies were upset up north. All righty.
All right. Thank you very much, Phil.
As we sat here last Saturday and told you, if the Huskies were upset up north and the Bruins beat SC, Bruins popped into the bowl, and that's where they're at.
Right you are. What had to happen, happened, Frank. The Bruins exploded for 3 third-quarter touchdowns and buried USC at the Coliseum. We'll pick up the action in the first quarter. The Bruins came out throwing. Rick Neuheisel, 15 yards to Kevin Nelson. Neuheisel, 13 of 19 on the day with 1 interception. That set up a John Lee field goal. The Bruins lead it 3-0. That, a 25-yarder. Second quarter, Neuheisel to tight end Paul Bergman. He had him in the end zone, but overthrows him. Remember that catch he made last week? Lee kicks another one. This one from 20. Bruins up 6-0. Trojans fight back. Quarterback Sean Salisbury, 19-25 today with 2 interceptions. Hits a spinning Joe Cormier. Cormier with 9 catches today. He is knocked down on the 1. 2 plays later, tailback Todd Spencer takes it over. The Trojans lead it 7-6. A 30-yard USC field goal gave them a 10-6 halftime lead. Third quarter is when the Bruins won it. 8 yards, Neuheisel to Carl Durrell. Bruins lead 13-10. Then Kevin Nelson, who has 79 yards on the day, goes around the right side for 12. Bruins up 20-0. Then it's fullback Brian Wiley. Up the middle for 17 yards. The Bruins up by 17, 27-10. The Trojans scored once more. It will be Spencer from the 7, but that was to be it. Finally, UCLA 27, USC 10. As you look at the pandemonium on the field, the Bruins in the Rose Bowl for the second straight year, thanks to Washington State's win over Washington. After the game, the Bruins locker room was quite crowded, quite noisy, as you might expect, but we managed to talk with several Bruins players, starting with Rick Neuheisel.
You know, our team always comes back. We never give up, so there's never really any reason or point to worry because it only wastes time from thinking about what you have to do the next time you get in there. And I'm just proud of the guys. It's just a storybook season for us, and we're hoping to cap it off in Pasadena.
And to win this game, to put us into the Rose Bowl, man, it's so much sweeter. I think we really established ourselves as a fine program and a fine university, and the Rose Bowl, you know, going to back-to-back Rose Bowls is something that's very unusual, and we're proud.
That was Paul Bergman. He had 3 catches today. Again, the final, 27-17. Bruins fans can send the congratulatory telegrams to Washington State. The Cougars knocked cross-state rival Washington out of the Rose Bowl picture with a solid 17-6.
And now, this is the Channel 2 Weekend News with Lester Holt, Colleen Williams, sports with Roy Firestone, and Cliff Morrison with the weather.
Good evening. Topping our news tonight, the amazing has become the incredible. Last year, no one expected UCLA to win a place in the Rose Bowl, and now they have done it again. Our sportscaster Roy Firestone is here now to tell us all about it.
Thank you, Colleen. Call it deja vu or whatever you want. Last year, an incredibly improbable series of events put UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Today, Bruins faced with almost the same situation, and yes, it happened again. UCLA beat USC while Washington was stunned by Washington State. The Bruins winning today with a powerful third quarter when they outscored USC 21-0, turning a 4-point deficit into a 17-point lead. Third quarter touchdowns went to Carl Durrell. This one from Kevin Nelson built the Bruins lead to 10 over the Trojans. And a closing score from Brian Wiley. UCLA goes to the Rose Bowl playing this year on January 2nd. That's a Monday to face Illinois. And of course, a little bit later we'll have highlights, interviews, tell you the whole story on this improbable Saturday. That follows in just a few moments. All right, Roy, we'll see you in a little bit.
Newport may stand with Bowhurst.
Off to Wiley, big hole. Wiley, 5-yard line, touchdown. Brian Wiley, UCLA.
That SC has nothing to lose and UCLA has everything to gain. I think that's pretty much what it was all about today. They were calling this game the Salvage Bowl, not the Salad Bowl, the Salvage Bowl for one of the teams to win. It would salvage the season. It turned out to be a lot more than that. The UCLA Bruins will be in Pasadena on January 2nd to face Illinois in the Rose Bowl. UCLA overcame USC while unbelievably in this game, Washington lost to Washington State. And if it all sounds familiar, this was the same scenario that put UCLA in the Rose Bowl last year. Let's take a look at the tape. The Bruins leading 3-0 well into the first quarter when Sean Salisbury overthrew his man down the middle. UCLA's Joe Gasser coming up with the test. A nice return, setting UCLA up for another score. And this was just the start of what would prove to be a long, frustrating day for Sean Salisbury. John Lee converts his second field goal. The Bruins lead 6-0. A day of missed opportunities for Troy. First, Salisbury avoiding the sack. He will then, though, pass into the end zone, and Lee Knowles of UCLA makes him regret it with this interception. The next drive, Salisbury flipping to Joe Cormier. Watch the run here. A nice job after the catch, spinning out of one tackle, dancing his way down to the 1-foot line, almost getting in. Todd Spencer, though, does. Taking it over from there, USC taking the lead 7-6. UCLA turns over a Steve Jordan field goal, and SC has a 10-6 lead at the half. Still the third quarter, all UCLA. Neuheisel to Carl Durrell, putting the Bruins in front
for good, 13-10. Then they call this the backbreaker. Lupe Sanchez finding a hole in the middle on the punt return, cutting to the sideline. He will race 38 yards, almost breaking this one. From there, the Bruins ground game gets effective. Going to work, Kevin Nelson swooping in, and just like that, it's 20-10 Bruins. Now, don't pin the SC loss on Sean Salisbury. Everybody shares the blame. Michael Harper cannot find the pitch right there. UCLA says thanks a lot. Neuheisel with yet another fine game, connecting here with his tight end Paul Bergman, number 94, 26 big yards in traffic. And a few plays later, UCLA would come through with the icing on the cake. Ryan Wiley will bust right up the middle right here, 27-10 UCLA. Trojans coming back to get as close as 27-17, but they ran out of gas in the last few moments. So for the third time in 4 years, Terry Donahue gets the ride of his life. And for the second straight year, his Bruins are Rose Bowl bound.
And the UCLA Bruins were given up for dead when they were 0-3-1. Everybody thought we were out of it except us. And we refused to believe that. And we came back, we fought hard for 60 minutes, every game, and it turned out to be enough. And we're just happy that it did.
We played a good team today. SC played their hearts out. And I thought they were as well prepared as any of the SC teams we've faced in the past. They dominated the first half. We dominated the second. And I just thought it was a real great game. And for all those people that said before the game that it wasn't going to be very important and that the team's records weren't very impressive, I think they got treated to a great college game, which is the typical fashion of this game.
UCLA proven they're the best in town. They finished with a 6-4-1 record, while SC finishes at 4-6-1, and UCLA will have the home field advantage in the Rose Bowl. Now, what you have to understand is that the UCLA game would have been meaningless if Washington had taken care of their business against the rival Washington State. But for the second straight year, the Cougars of Washington State played the spoiler. It was tough to determine whether Washington was awful or Washington State was brilliant. Here, State's Rico Tipton intercepts Steve Kalura to start the Husky downfall in that game. The Cougars' Rich Calvin busts up the middle. State taking the lead, and the celebration will begin. And it's not a replay. Watch this. Calvin scores it right again. State's lead growing to 14-6. It was hard to believe. Time after time, Washington, well, they look like SC a lot, hurting themselves here. A wide-open Husky receiver will make the catch, but before he goes out of bounds, he'll fumble, and State will recover. This fourth-quarter field goal coming up right here ended Washington's hopes for going to Pasadena in '84. Washington State, Jim Walton and company, knocking the neighbors out of the Rose Bowl for the second year in a row. The Huskies will go to the Aloha Bowl.
This is Channel 7, the #1 station, sports news and information in Southern California. Now the latest breaking eyewitness news with Chuck Henry, Joanna Shanina, Ted Dawson with sports, Kim Curtis with the weather, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening, everybody. This was the big day of the big game, and in the end, it was UCLA winning the city bragging rights, and much larger than that, the trip to the Rose Bowl. At the Coliseum today, the scene was USC and UCLA fans turning out for the crosstown showdown with 84,000 watching on, that is. This turned out to be a great day for UCLA. Okay, we've set the stage. Now let's see the highlights, and for that, here's Ted Dawson.
Thank you very much, Chuck. The Miracle Bruins are going to the Rose Bowl for the second year in a row, thanks to a pair of wild games, one at the Coliseum, one in Seattle. First of all, at the Coliseum, the Bruins take an early lead on a pair of John Lee field goals. That one from 11 in the second quarter. UCLA leads 6-0. Back comes USC. Third and goal at the 7. Salisbury rolls right, out of trouble, throws back, intercepted by Lee Knowles. The Trojans are turned away, but not for long. The defense holds, and from the 33, Salisbury throws to tight end Fred Cormier. Watch the move as he fights his way to the 1-yard line. It's first and goal. Next play. Todd Spencer gets the call. He flies over the middle. Touchdown. USC leads 7-6. After a Steve Jordan field goal, it's 10-6 in the third. But on their first drive in the second half, Rick Neuheisel rolls right, wobbles the pass to Carl Durrell. Score! UCLA leads 13-10. Bruins are at the 12. They give it to Kevin Nelson. He goes right, cuts up, touchdown. UCLA leads 20-10. And they're not through yet. From the 32, Neuheisel is throwing to tight end Paul Bergman, complete at the 6-yard line. It's first and goal. But after a sack, it's third and goal from the 17. They fake the give left to Nelson. Back up the middle comes fullback Brian Wiley. His first touchdown of the year is 27-10. USC regroups in the fourth quarter from the 7. They give us to Todd Spencer. Touchdown. It's 27-17, but still 10 minutes left. But the Bruin defense gets tough. UCLA beats USC 27-17. Thought a win over USC meant nothing unless these guys, Washington State, can knock off Washington. Led by Cougar quarterback Ricky Turner, a local kid from here in L.A. Washington State jumps ahead 7-3 in the second quarter on that 2-yard run by Richard Calvin. It's upset time in Seattle. Calvin gets the ball again. 4th and 1. He bowls his way home. It's 14-3. Washington State at the half. The Huskies get a field goal, but Washington State shows it up in the 4th. A booming 41-yard field goal at 17-6. It's another rainy, cold day in Seattle. The Huskies' high-powered offense bogs down. Quarterback Steve Pallor gets ripped, and the ball game is over. For the second year in a row, Washington blows their chance for the Rose Bowl by losing to Washington State. The Cougars win it 17-6. We'll have more highlights, and we'll have some post-game interviews from the Coliseum coming up in sports. Don't miss that. We'll see you in a little while.
And they used to say God was a Trojan.
Not anymore, apparently.
Okay, we'll see you a little bit later. Well, typical year where all the pieces just fell into place, didn't it?
And Joanne is smiling. Oh, is she happy? I'll tell you, it's going to be a lot tougher getting Rose Bowl tickets after today's action on both ends of the West Coast. First of all, Washington would have gone, of course, but 2 touchdowns from Washington State, Richard Calvin, plus a courageous Cougar defense handed Washington a 17-6 loss. But UCLA still had to beat USC, and they did it with 3 third-quarter touchdowns. That one from Kevin Nelson right there put the Bruins on top to stay. And then a great one coming here from Brian Wiley. Watch this. If he takes it right up the middle for 17 yards on 3rd and goal, and UCLA wins it by a score of 27-17. Tony Hernandez and Ed Arnold were both at the Coliseum this afternoon. Both file these post-game reports.
A miracle has struck on us again, and it's, like I said, the most unbelievable feeling. We won't come down from this one for a long time. The only thing that we were thinking about today was going out there and playing our best ball against USC and coming out with a victory and hoping to watch us stay help on the other side. Unfortunately, they did, and we're going back to the Rose Bowl. In the second half, we came out fired up, and we played a lot harder. We played a lot harder in that 3rd quarter and that 4th quarter, and I think that was the difference right there. This is probably the biggest win of my coaching career, even though this team doesn't have the one-loss record of some of the ones I've had in the past. It won the games it had to win, and it showed great character, and the coaches and the players have done a great job.
I can't understand it. It's been the way the whole year. We just hit them out in the first half and try to feel them out. Second half, we take it to them, and we took it to them. And gosh darn it, we're going back to the bowl.
It had been a frustrating start this season for the UCLA Bruins, but they turned it around, and today, with the defeat of USC, while Washington State beat Washington, they also get the invitation to the Rose Bowl. As for the USC Trojans, Tony Hernandez was in their locker room.
It hurts a lot. We prepared well for this ball game, and USC and UCLA is always a big rivalry. And I just wanted to leave a part of myself out on the field today.
We went out there and fought our hearts out, and every single guy played hard. And I don't know what people are going to say, but it doesn't matter because, like Coach said, we became a team today. So just one of those things. They beat us on the scoreboard, but we sure played awful hard. We just lost our composure a little bit, I believe. We let our special teams return, set up a touchdown, and then we have our one turnover on from a fumble standpoint in that same quarter. So back to back, we basically, the other team earns them, but we didn't make it difficult for them to score those other 14 points, and then it got away from us.
Congratulations to UCLA, which will be going to the Rose Bowl for the 2nd straight year. At the Coliseum, this is Tony Hernandez, Channel 7 Eyewitness Sports reporting.
Thank you, Tony.